And then 5, 4, 3. By the way, before I get started, I know, Jonathan, you're used to it. Aaron, I think I mentioned this to you before, but like in the podcast when I say, and what do you think, Jonathan? What do you think, Aaron? All that's edited out. It's just so that we don't talk over each other when I do that.
Yeah. All good.
It's all edited out. So anyway.
Sorry if I talk over you guys too. My
No,
bad.
and please do. Like me and Thomas for Challenge Accepted, we always just talk over each other, more so me over him. And it's just the vibe now over there. But for this one, ever since, because we used to record in person and then we transitioned during the pandemic, obviously. And if for some reason it's just hard for us to really just naturally talk sometimes, especially more. So anyway, so if I don't mean to be bossy, I'm gonna edit all that out.
You're waiting like this.
Yeah.
Is it my turn? Yep. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, sorry if I do that.
No, you are absolutely no problem at all. I just feel bad that when people come in and they're like, "Oh, I can't talk because Frank didn't give me permission." That's not the case. Please talk if you're ready to. I enjoy.
All good. Thank you.
All right, 3, 2, am I recording? 1. Hey all, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and I'm joined by Aaron.
Hello, everybody.
And we have Jonathan.
What's going on?
Today, guys, we're still in holiday break. I know for you guys it's January 3rd. For us, it ain't. So we're going to be real chill. We're going to be talking about what we're most excited for out of 2025. Should be short, should be easy. It's just a hype fest around here, and that's what we're all about. We're going to be going over our most anticipated movies, TV shows, and video games. And I think let's start with TV shows first. And Jonathan, we'll start with you first. What is one of your most anticipated shows and why?
So this is the longest list I made. I'll have to just pick a couple. So I'll just start with Star Trek. I always like to talk about Star Trek. We know they're working on Starfleet Academy. We don't know if that's going to come out in 2025 or 2026. We keep getting cast updates and stuff like that, but we're not sure when it's coming out, so I can't count on that. But we do know Strange New World Season 3 should be coming out 2025. So looking forward to that. And Star Trek Section 31, I believe, is also coming out next year.
That will be a movie, though. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dang, wrong list, yeah.
They changed. It was a TV show. They converted it over to a movie. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. But yeah, always excited to hear about more Star Trek.
That's me too. And Starfleet Academy, I think, is going to be coming out in 2025. So
yeah, well, I just looked it up. I was trying to figure out, like, do they have a estimated date? And it even online it was saying 2025 or 2026 still. So I'm like, maybe it's not set in stone.
I'll go start knocking on doors at Paramount, like, hey guys, get your shit together.
Wrap this shit up.
Yeah. Aaron, what is one of your most anticipated shows?
Okay, so one of my most I have a few as well. I'm the same as Jonathan here.
Got 10, so yeah.
Oh, well, we're good. I think for me, I'll try and name one that maybe you guys won't. So the one that I'm probably the most anticipating is The Bear Season 4. Obviously a very highly awarded show. This is some TV that it was recommended to me by a friend whose name is Lullaby, who appeared on the Fan and Portals podcast. And I watched it, and my goodness, that is a show that really just draws you in. And, you know, there's a particular episode in season 3 that really showed me the kind of artistic nature of the show, and it's the Christmas dinner episode. If you guys are familiar with that, have you guys watched The Bear?
No. Oh my God,
and
what an
it's
episode!
like, mate, Jamie Lee Curtis in that episode alone, and then obviously, you know, John Bernthal as well.
Mm-hmm.
He just plays an amazing role in The Bear, and it's just captivating TV. I literally sat there watching it in the comfort of my lounge room in the safest place that I have in my house, and I was having like an anxiety attack because I was watching them in the show having this dysfunctional family dinner. And it's just like that kind of captivating writing and the music and the tension and just like the notes that they sort of hit as they're going back and forth. And even like the sound effects, like the cooking sound effects that they have on repeat, it's just like in that background, that subtlety, and it's just so well crafted. All of the actors in there give 100%, and I just can't wait for the 4th season of The Bear. They've brought out 4 seasons in 4 years, and you know that's really unheard of for TV shows this year. And I'm really glad that they're doing that. Really hope that a lot of the cast members do come back. I know that Ibon is otherwise tied up with his Fantastic Four commitments, so I don't know how that's going to go, but I hope he does come back because Richie is definitely a great part of the show. But Jeremy Allen White will be back, and we'll see his tattooed arms in all their glory, chopping up potatoes and
Well,
making
he's
all
going
those
to be in
big
Star
changes.
Wars now, so who knows if
Yeah,
he'll,
I
you know,
heard that. Yeah,
could
whether
be
it's a
his kid.
voice, is it going to be a motion capture? Like
I
that'd
don't
be the
know.
easiest job ever, pretending to be a slug.
Yeah,
Like,
that show though, it's amazing how much I'm watching that and just like anxiety inducing.
mm-hmm.
Yes, chef, no chef. Oh my god.
Yeah,
And in that
exactly.
particular episode, when the car comes through the house, I don't know about for you,
Yeah,
but for me, when the car comes into the house, you're almost like, oh, it's over. Thank God.
yeah,
Like it was almost like
and
a relief moment.
yep, and you're literally like, wait a minute, I can't get through that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just so that shock, man. It was just so good, and the moment that John Bernthal threw that fork, I was like,
yeah,
"It's on."
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's such a good TV. Oh man, I don't know what it is, but like watching like a dysfunctional family just lose itself on
Hmm.
television right in front of you is just it's a guilty pleasure. So The Bear, that's my
Yeah.
probably most anticipated, but I've got more. So, but I'll hand it over to somebody else.
Yeah, Succession too. If you guys like that dysfunctional family start to slowly fall apart, Succession, of course, is that, but everybody's rich.
Hmm.
So yeah. All right, I will add one in. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. If you guys like House of the Dragon, but you're like a little too many dragons, boom, there you go. Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It's Game of Thrones and A Knight's Tale, which I know right now I'm just talking right to Aaron.
Hmm.
Really, the first part is straight up A Knight's Tale, and it's a
Yeah.
knight who's pretending to be somebody else, and he takes on a squire. He doesn't know the squire is the son of the king, and then it just keeps going beyond that. Wonderful story. It's far more grounded than what we've been getting from the Game of Thrones spinoff. So I think that and House of the Dragon are going to juxtapose and show kind of the wide breadth of fantasy storytelling and what George R. R. Martin brings to the table if he ever finishes the damn book. Um, House of the Dragon, or I'm sorry, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I'm very excited to share that with you guys later on. We'll be covering, for a lot of these shows, we'll be covering every episode over on Challenge Accepted and the finale and intro on Geek Freaks. Jonathan, let's head back to you, man. You got another one?
If I'm right, I'm guessing that some of these are coming out next year. Now thinking about it, like it might be later. But Lanterns, right? The new Green Lantern series.
It is definitely not next year.
Oh man, why do they got to do that to us?
It takes time.
I know, but like we've heard about it a long time ago. Okay.
I know.
Welcome to Derry. That's coming out
That's
next year,
coming out
right?
next year, yeah.
Okay. Based on Stephen King's It. It's a series in that world in the town of Derry, I guess, where it was snatching up children and stuff like that. So that'll be cool. That'll be good. I've never seen a
Takes place,
Stephen
I
King
think it's
movie that I didn't
26
fall in
years
love with.
before the main storyline, so it's basically the
Yeah.
generation before them, how he comes back every, I think, 26 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's another batch of kids.
I wonder though, are we gonna follow a batch of kids, or is it just gonna be like, well, yeah, I guess we have to. I have to follow a set group of people. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't know. Curious to see how they play that out.
I need to read that book. I know that the ending's very depressing compared to the movies, but I need to see that because I love everything Stephen King. He just keeps nailing it.
Yeah.
Aaron, let's go to you.
Okay, let me take you to a nostalgic place where everybody loves to run up those hills, and Dungeons and Dragons made a resurgence. It's Stranger
Oh my
Things
God, I
season
forgot about
5.
this.
I know.
Yes.
We're going back to Hawkins, people, with the kids that we all, love to watch on their bicycles running through this 80s vibe show. Season 5 of Stranger Things is something that I'm looking forward to, seeing David Harbour return. It is the last season, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that ends after they opened up Hawkins and obviously had to deal with Vecna. All the kids are older now, and they're definitely, making their way in life, and seeing how they all of their chapters close after watching these kids literally grow up in front of our very eyes is something that I'm pretty excited for. Stranger Things season 5, second on my list. Let's go.
I forgot that in what an end of an era, right? And you're talking about the Bear, how that's just so unique that they do a season per year. Boy, Stranger Things is the opposite of that. It feels like it takes forever.
Yeah, and
Man,
they
these
also
kids
had
grow
to
up.
accommodate that for the fact that the kids were aging, didn't they? So every single story that they did, they had to make sure it was like aging up as the kids were growing. And I think that's part of the reason why they're bringing it to a close, just because those kids are aging out and they're starting to become adults and then doing other things with their careers. But I also think that like Stranger Things was one of the first, or at least in Australia anyway, because Netflix came out a lot later in Australia than it did for the US. But one of the first drawing cards that everybody wanted to get Netflix for was Stranger Things. So it's kind of like end of an era in that way for us here down in Australia as well. So season 5 is going to be just real. It's going to be bittersweet because it's going to be a much anticipated conclusion, but then it's going to be a conclusion and a goodbye. So, and we all know that when there's a goodbye on the cards, like which character's gonna bite the dust, we don't know. It's gonna have it's. I'd put money on it. Somebody's gonna go. Who's
I
it
have
gonna
a
be?
feeling it's going to be Hooper because that's the one that's going to hit me the hardest.
Can't be.
I know.
Can't be. No.
As a
I reckon
D&D
it'll be 11. That's my pick.
Yeah, that's true. She's probably too powerful to keep existing. As a D&D aficionado, more so than even I and Jonathan, did you feel the impact that Stranger Things had on D&D as like a resurgence around where you live?
Well, at the time that was actually coming through, I already had a D&D podcast going, so I definitely saw like a bump and a increase in enthusiasm for people wondering what we were doing in that space, which was good. We had more engagement on social media through that, and just around my friendship group, people that sort of watched it, and just like my friends that were outside of the D&D space, they knew that I played, and they'd never really been interested. But then you get those questions. It's just like, so you play D&D, right? And you're just like, I know what this means.
Yeah.
You want me to run you a game? So yeah, I would say yes, it definitely did. And they brought out a lot of the Stranger Things themed packs, which sort of was entry level for a lot of people. Played through that as well. And then yeah, it's just like your gateway drug straight into Dungeons and Dragons in a more accessible way. And it's so the themes in it as well. Like I tell my partner as we were watching it, I was just like, that's in D&D, that's in D&D, that's a D&D thing. It's just like so good to pick out those Easter eggs. And I found it the same when I was watching the Dungeons and Dragons movie the other night too. I was just like naming the spells and doing all that kind of thing. But even like the Underdark and the Demogorgon, all of that stuff is just so D&D, and it was good to see it come back and have it set in that sort of time period. It really sort of nestled it where it needed to be in that time space. I liked it. It was good.
I never thought about the Underdark and like the Upside Down, and how like those two can be quite mirrors of each other. The Underdark, Jonathan's campaign, the campaign that I'm running for him, they haven't explored it yet. I'm giving Jonathan a hint right now. They haven't explored it yet, but there's been hints that like, wait, where did this drow come from that owns this manor? So there's the Underdark they can go
Here's
to.
a hint, Jonathan. He probably came from the Underdark.
Good.
Yeah.
You follow the threads.
There you go. That very expensive paint set that they couldn't afford must have stolen it from somebody. There's so many. I was telling Jonathan, I was like, I just want to like scream all the stories that they just walk right past. I invested so much. If you guys go this way, but that's okay. We'll go that way too. It's fine.
That's right. You just move the stuff that's on the map straight into the path of the player.
Right now, they're fighting to secure a foothold in hell. But yeah, I'm gonna be pulling in some stuff. Like I was telling John too, like, I plan on you guys fighting these like clockwork guys over here because I printed them up and stuff. But like they happen to also be protecting this bank too, just in case you guys went that way, and they did. So that worked out quite well for me. Oh man,
no, that's good. That's good.
Okay, so another show that I'm looking forward to. Let's return to Marvel. We have Daredevil: Born Again. This is Marvel embracing their Netflix shows. It's also them really embracing the showrunner. We saw Kevin Feige step in and retool the show and kind of make it more in line with the future of Marvel. I am excited to see how that looks. So far, what we've gotten out of it, it looks like even Kingpin is more accurate and stuff like that. Not that the Netflix's show wasn't excellent, but they're even making even more comic book accurate than that. So I am fully on board with that. Daredevil: Born Again for me.
Are they bringing back John Bernthal as the Punisher for that one?
Yes. Yeah,
he's come back.
He's
Good.
in that one, yeah.
Awesome.
We don't have Elektra or anything like that, but we do have Punisher, and I think that's it. And there's talks that not Iron Fist, but the co-star on Iron Fist might be coming back too. So we'll see. Let's try to do. If you guys have one more show, we'll go. We'll probably stop at that. Do you have another show? Let's go with Jonathan on that.
I only got one more because like almost everything you guys have mentioned has been on my list too. But The Last of Us season 2 we should have I think in the spring coming out. So and it's supposed to be a 5-year time jump. So that'll be interesting to see.
And for those who like the game and are like, no, but I don't want. They are splitting that second game into 2 parts. So it'll only be the first half of the game, and they're even stretching one of the main twists out to that second half. So, The Last of Us, I know is going to be a big hit for everybody, especially with that Walking Dead withdrawal. A lot of people are kind of like, Walking Dead's got a lot of spin-offs, sure, but not a lot of people are watching them. They're going to The Last of Us. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Aaron, what about you?
Last one for me, Andor season 2. Probably one of the
Oh
best things to come
yes.
out of Star Wars in recent years. It's like the shining jewel, basically, in the 20th century of Star Wars. And the last season took place over 1 year. This one takes place over 4 years,
Mhm.
and it leads right up until the end of Rogue One. It's going to be interesting to see how all those events sort of culminate and take place, and also how they handle the time jumps. Because I know that the episode count is actually quite small as well. I think it's like
Yeah.
8 to 10 episodes, and they're doing a 4 year, like those 8 episodes happen in 4 years. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think it's 2 episodes, 2 episodes, 2 episodes, 2 episodes.
Yep.
So that should be like 2 hours in each time period. It's going to be interesting to see how they sort of space that out. And if it's successful, I hope it is, because when I've watched shows that have time jumps before, it's hit and miss all the time.
Hmm.
But I trust the people that do Andor. They do some great stuff over there with the showrunners. So I hope it's good.
I was itching to watch Rogue One again. I was like, no, 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 wait. Treat yourself to like right after Andor, go right into Rogue One. That's the way you do that. That's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I have a real tough one with these last two, but I'm gonna go. God, I'm gonna have to go with White Lotus. I'm looking forward to White Lotus season 3. Walton Goggins is gonna be on this season. Uh, Talk about a show that is just so masterfully shot, has one of the best scores in TV right now. It's iconically White Lotus, but they also kind of tweak it for each new environment, new place they're at. And we've already heard the one for this one, and it has the like Thailand themes in the background of it and stuff like that. Looks fantastic. They're bringing back some of the characters from season 1. And anytime Goggins is on anything, I'm tuning in. They're bringing in gosh, I can't remember her name, but she's the evil one from Lost in Space, and I just hate her in all the right ways. Like, you love to hate her. So the fact that they're bringing her here and she's going to be that wacky one, I'm like, oh, good, I could hate her again. So, White Lotus, written by Mike White, one of the most creative people in Hollywood right now. That's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to that too. That is our TV shows. Let's get into the movies, and I'll be starting us off with the movies, and I'm going to go with Fantastic Four. This is, again, one of the pillars of Marvel Comics being brought into the MCU. They're using this retro-futuristic vibe. It's 60s, but today, and the casting for this has been a delight. We've been getting, Pedro Pascal. We're talking about The Last of Us. He's going to be Mr. Fantastic. That's perfect, and it's just a good casting all the way around. I'm really hyped for what this is going to mean for Marvel. The only thing that concerns me is how they're going to land the Doctor Doom RDJ of it all. But I have faith that they're probably gonna lean into Secret Wars being pretty important. But this is it. This is kind of the final moments of the end game for this era, where we're gonna go this Doomsday into Secret Wars. So I'm very excited for Fantastic Four. Let's go to Aaron next for the movie.
Okay, so first of all, I don't know if this one comes out in 2025, so correct me if I'm wrong, Frank, but does the live action How to Train Your Dragon come out in
It does.
2025?
Yes.
Okay, well, that is my pick. That is my pick.
Hmm.
Loved those cartoon movies, full of heart, full of emotion. The fact that they've got Gerard Butler back to play Stoic
Yeah.
is absolutely amazing. The side by side scene for scene of Hiccup meeting Toothless in the trailer, absolutely captivating. The way they've animated Toothless as well is just really awesome. And I know they say live action, even though Toothless is still technically pretty well animated. It's just more realistic, but I'm very excited for it because it's just. I'm hoping that they'll do the whole trilogy because I love dragons, and I'm just loving seeing more of them on my telly. So it's probably one that I could eventually watch with the kids as well, having them grow up and then see How to Train Your Dragon animated and then see the live action. And yeah, keen for it. That's my pick for the movie.
One of the things I talked about on Challenge Accepted, and I'm excited for them to reintroduce to a new generation, is the ableism aspect of How to Train Your Dragon. We kind of often forget about that, but Hiccup is missing a leg, Toothless is missing part of his tail, and about how they kind of transcend beyond what they would presumably be the end of their future plans. And so I think that's something that's really cool to echo nowadays more than ever, and might have been forgotten by the latest generation. It does look super good though, and I'm always brought back to the sound design in How to Train Your Dragon because it's the most unique fire ability from a dragon we've ever heard in Toothless. That almost like charged up and then it's just such a cool sound.
Like
I
a
can't mimic it.
supersonic beam or something like that, right?
It's amazing. So Cool. I can't wait to see it in live action.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jonathan, what's your movie?
I'm looking forward to the new Superman. We talked about it when we did our Geekies last episode. James Gunn and all that stuff. But it looks amazing. It comes out, I think, in July 2025. It's going to be one of those big summer movies. I mean, Superman's awesome. It'll be great.
We're gonna be broke. There's gonna be so many theater trips.
Right.
All the popcorn.
This is the year to get one of those movie passes, or like I had movie pass this past year, but I think maybe I'll do a subscription to a specific theater this next year and see how that goes. But I mean, this past year too, we didn't have that many big, blockbuster movies coming out, but this upcoming year looks like we got a lot more. So that'll be good.
I think your cat's excited about it too.
Yeah, if you guys want a cat, she wants to be on the pod too.
Yeah. All right. So I think I did. Did I do mine? Yeah, I did. All right. Let's go back to Aaron then. Aaron, why don't you give us another one?
Okay, so I've got two.
Yeah.
Well, I've got more than two, but which one should I go with first? I'm going to go with Stargate. I recently found out that there was a Stargate movie coming out in 2025, and I was definitely a Stargate kid. I was telling the guys just before we went live that first job was a paper run, and I did the paper run for the entire week purely to buy. The newsagents had these magazines that had DVDs attached to them, and there was 3 episodes per DVD, and I spent the whole week delivering papers to my neighborhood just so I could earn enough money to buy that DVD and watch 3 episodes of Stargate. My brothers loved it too because I did all the work and they got to watch the Stargate. So shout out to those guys. Thanks. But no, Stargate was definitely something that I loved from childhood. The team of 4, the gateway to other worlds, the alien races just took you away. It's that escapism we've always been talking about here on Geek Freaks, and it's just that sort of happy place for me. And you know what? It was something that my mum introduced me to as well, and she really enjoyed it when we watched it all as a family too. So, and it also, I kind of watched it when I was like 12 or 13, so it kind of felt like it was a little bit older than what I was supposed to be watching, so I felt really grown up when I was watching it, so it's got that nostalgia vibe for me, and I'm interested to see the way that they take it, whether they're going to go with Jack O'Neill, Daniel Jackson, the original SG-1 team, or they're going to try something new, because there was an original Stargate movie that came out obviously before the show, starring James Spader, I believe, and Kurt Russell. Yes, he needs to come back too. But yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to take it in that direction or whether they're going to do something new. And again, if it's going to spare off a new Stargate show. So that's my pick, Stargate.
I wonder, I know it's not completely related, but there's the vibe check, right? Where Dune is kind of bringing in that deserty Egyptian themes from a lot of the architecture, a lot of the religion aspect of it. And then Stargate, the original movie, had a lot of that too. Yeah, so there might be like, maybe there's something. Planet, yeah, maybe they're like, you know what, this is a good time to bring back Stargate because people are into this right now. So yeah, I think that's cool. I haven't gotten into Stargate yet, but I'm excited to join a new fandom. That'll be cool.
No, it's good. Stargate is a bit more popcorny action than Dune. I'd say Dune's more like a space opera. But yeah, definitely similar vibes in terms of the location, and everybody's into sci-fi now. It's the hot thing of the month. So yeah, looking forward to it. Hoping it's not just like a cash grab. Let's do a IP that's going to bring in some stuff. Take care of it, please. I love it.
And it might ignite the fandoms again. So then they're going to have to take it seriously. God, we have a lot of good ones. I'll do one more though. I'm gonna go with. Gosh, we got a lot of. I'm gonna go from left field. Mickey 17 with Robert Pattinson. This is a new A24 movie, I believe it is. And the idea is that he's this like disposable man. He signs up for this insane project where they clone him and then they kill him off and they have him do like all the rough jobs. And they just like, oh, let that one die. We have more clones coming. But then one of the clones survive. And
I've seen the trailer for that. I was like, oh yeah, that looks really cool.
I really appreciate Robert Pattinson's acting skills post Twilight, and this one you can tell that they're letting him be silly, and I don't think we've seen that before, and they're letting him just kind of have fun with this one. So I can't wait to see what this looks like for him. And it's just a really fun concept. It's one of those sci-fi concepts that sit with you for a while, where you think about like, what does this mean? How would you play with it? So Mickey 17 out of left field, I think that's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, that reminds me, I know I've mentioned it too many times on the show, a very short-lived series called Altered Carbon. I think it was on Netflix.
Yep.
It reminds me of that whole world they built, the concept and stuff like that you just can make a new body. Well, in this one, they could just clone another laborer. But yeah, that looks really cool.
It's a damn shame they canceled that show.
I know.
Crazy.
Someday, maybe
Anthony Mackie for the second season. It's like, why would you have a hot star? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to 28 Years Later. It's the third sequel. If you guys haven't seen 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later. Was it 20? Yeah, and then 28 Years Later. Those first two were so good, and I think the last one came out in 2007. So it's been so long. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be great. And Cillian Murphy, I guess, is supposed to be coming back in a different way. So we might be a zombie. It might be I figured maybe he would be a former leader of a developed city that eventually fell or something like that. So it'd be statues of him or something like that. But I don't know. We'll see.
I want to add real quick to that, John. We just got information that the 28 Years Later is the first in a new trilogy within that universe now. So,
really? Oh,
yeah,
dang.
just found out. And the next movie, Bone Temple, is going to be out 6 months after that movie. So not only are there a new trilogy, but they already are booking them up.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's really cool. All right, Aaron, let's do the last one, I think, probably for this now.
Yep.
What do you got for your last movie?
There's so many. Oh man.
I know.
All right, I'll say honorable mentions to Paddington in Peru for the kids because the first two movies are sleeper hits. Honorable mention to Sherlock Holmes 3 returning RDJ and Jude Law.
Is that coming out this year? I'm sorry, real quick. Is that coming out this year? Do we know?
Well, I saw it on a list, so maybe.
Okay, if that comes out, I'm going to lose
so.
my mind for it. I like those first two movies so much.
hope so.
That's
Yeah,
a
man.
blast.
Yeah,
Jude
we
Law.
got some Sherlock. Like there was just a flood of Sherlock stuff for a while there, wasn't it? It was the RDJ
really
stuff, and then
there's a new
Benedict
Watson
Cumberbatch.
show coming up too, so we might have that flood coming back.
Yeah. Give us some of the detective. We love it. But I think I'm probably going to go with the Thunderbolts for this one. Thunderbolts being a movie that's going to be coming in 2025. Jake Schreier, the director, starring Sebastian Stan, coming back as the Winter Soldier, and Florence Pugh, David Harbour, that we talked about from Stranger Things. It just looks like a nice misfit bunch of characters that you're going to be able to sort of sink your teeth in. I'm going to call this the new Guardians of the Galaxy. You know how it's just that sort of bunch of characters that nobody really knew much sort of about, even though we've seen them in the MCU before, but it's like trying to reignite some new favorites in people for the new phase of the MCU. Looks very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing Hyperion, which has been advertised through the movie as well, and just seeing how it blends in with the MCU as a whole and seeing where their direction is going to, because I think it's one of the first ones that's going to be released for the MCU, I believe, or is it Brave New World that comes first?
I think Brave New World is first, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, either way, I'm good to see. I'm glad to see that, or I want to see how it sort of pivots in a direction that's going to take us into a larger overarching story. And I'm also interested to see what that asterisk means in the title. You know how it's always saying Thunderbolts asterisk. I'm like, what's that? What is it? If nothing else, I'll watch it just to see what that is. So that's good marketing. Somebody put some grammar marks in your titles. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
A random
The next one's
semicolon.
Thunderbolts?
Just put it
Question
there.
mark? I don't know if it's Thunderbolts or not.
Yeah, it's Thunderbolts.
Wicked Part 2.
Yeah,
I
there
came
it
in to
is,
watch
yeah.
Thunderbolts.
Yep.
That'd be good.
I want to add to yours real quick. I'm not. Is it Hyperion? Because I know Sentry's in it.
Sentry, that's right. Yes.
Which I think is really good
Hyperion?
timing because we have a new Superman movie coming out. So then you put like, all right, well let's have our Suicide Squad kill our Superman. So that'd be fun to see.
That's it.
Yeah, that'll be good. Jonathan, what's your last movie that you're hyped about?
My last one I think is gonna be Tron Ares. Tron, the new Tron movies were so good, so I'm excited to see it again. I talk about it too often, but I loved Ready Player One. Can't wait for Ready Player Two. But I love anything that's really in this, like, not to go back to the same things I always talk about.
That's well that's running out of water, Jonathan.
Well, because this reminds me so much of the same kind of world. I mean, they could totally connect them too. But even if we had other movies in that same, living inside the computer, perspective or whatever, there's so much you can do with it, and it's just a fun sci-fi thing to explore.
Yeah, I'm hoping Jared Leto doesn't Jared Leto it up too much, but Tron Legacy's so good, and I think it's kind of forgotten. And we have 9 Inch Nails doing the soundtrack for this one, so yes, I am in. That's gonna be a blast.
Is Jeff Bridges coming back for this one?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Oh, good. He's aging, man. He's getting like each one. He's getting on and on and on.
Yeah.
But yes,
And
that's good.
we have a better
Glad he's come
de-aging
back.
technology than we did. Tron Legacy, well, I think is a fantastic movie. The de-aging for him was pretty rough. So And then, all right, I'll close this off with Captain America: Brave New World. We get to see Sam Wilson being our Captain America. They're going to be introducing adamantium into the MCU. This is going to be just a blast. Red Hulk, which the more we're seeing visually of Red Hulk, he looks amazing. It's amazing that motion capture. You'd think so much, like when the first Hulk movie comes out, like, oh my god, it looks just like Mark Ruffalo or Ed Henry. It looks perfect. And then as we progress, like, it keeps getting better. How is that possible? Yeah, Red Hulk looks so much like Harrison Ford. It's outstanding. So I'm looking forward to that too.
I can't wait to see the released cut. You know, when they released the Planet of the Apes movie, how they also released the version of the
that was
actors in the
smart.
mocap. I want them to do that with Harrison Ford, just to see him walking around as the Red Hulk. That'd be funny.
Just in the
Just
middle
to
of the
see
street with like a burning car next to him and all this like stuff attached to him.
Yeah.
Old
Yeah,
man yell.
Exactly. Yeah, but even down to I watched or I saw a close up of the Red Hulk just recently, and you know the famous scar that Harrison Ford has on the chin. Like
Yeah.
even if you look at the Red Hulk's close up face, he's got that there, and you can see the grey along the sides. And yeah, I always picture the Red Hulk though with that mustache. I was like, because you know Thunderbolt Ross, he's got that
Yeah.
mustache. I was like, if he changed and he had the mustache, that would be really cool.
That would have been dope. That would have been
But
smart,
yeah,
yeah.
I think Harrison Ford didn't want the mustache. You know, they made a point of saying it in the trailer. Lose the office or lose the mustache. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one too.
I have a feeling they were like, we want Harrison Ford, and Harrison Ford's like, I ain't growing a mustache, guys.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like,
Mhm.
all right, then we're gonna write it around. That's fine. They're not gonna Henry Cavill it where they have to CGI stuff.
Oh, exactly. Only Harrison Ford, hey, could do that. Just like pull that weight. It's like,
Yeah.
but the character's been drawn this way for the last 40 years. It's like, nope.
Let's move to games that we're most hyped for in 2025. I'll kick us off on this one as well. I'm going to start off with 1943 Rise of Hydra. This is a new Marvel game. It's going to be starring Captain America in World War II and Black Panther from World War II, T'Challa's grandfather, played by King Ezekiel from Walking Dead. And it's looks so good. It's inspired by God of War, and so it'll be that play style. You're gonna have a companion with you the whole time, but their companions, like if you're playing as Captain America, you're gonna have this World War II soldier, and they're gonna be building that story out as well. I think World War II personally is a very fun place to have shows and stories and movies and whatever, yada yada yada, because good and bad is so well defined, and sometimes it's nice for that escapism again, where you're just like, yeah, you could just shoot Nazis and don't feel guilty about it. It's like in Red Dead Redemption 2, like anytime you shot somebody, or like lower down your like good meter, but then as soon as you shot somebody from the KKK, it's free. So you're like, let's go crazy on the KKK. Same thing happening here. And to be that earlier version of T'Chaka, or I think it's T'Chaka, no, that's his dad. But anyways, being that earlier version of Black Panther with the not high-tech version of vibranium, it's probably going to be steampunky or whatever. It should be a blast. I'm looking forward to that. That's be cool. Let's go to Jonathan. What is your game you're most hyped for in 2025?
Yeah, so as we've talked about before, I'm upgrading my computer. Gonna be super fast and able to play all kinds of stuff. So honestly, I'll probably be able to play games from the last 3 years that I haven't gotten to because my computer's been outdated for a while. So discount games for sure. But no, the new games wise though, I'm looking forward to the new Assassin's Creed Shadows. I've always liked Assassin's Creed games, and so I think that'll probably be the first one I pick up. I think it doesn't come out till February, but
Yeah.
I
I really like how
to check out.
you play as two different characters, and one of them is like the big brute. It's gonna have to be like big swinging sword. The other one has to be like that ninja that's stealthy. So you have both play styles in one game.
Yeah,
It's really smart of them.
yeah.
Aaron, what do you got on your list?
For me, very big, like one player, single player sort of mission gamer. For me, like story-based games is good for me. So Fable 4 is coming out, and I'm really interested to see how they're going to update the franchise. First one obviously blew everybody away with Xbox One. Xbox 2, and also was one of the first games that brought out that sort of alignment check, like the good things that you did made you look different, and the evil things that you did made you sort of look evil. Really, I don't know about you guys, but really hard to stay good in those games. And everything that you did that
Tempting.
you wanted to do, I know in the video games, just like, but it's right there. I could just, I could just grab it, and then you
Yeah.
just see that thing is like plus 10 evil points. You're like, God damn it.
Now the whole game's ruined. All right.
Yeah,
Going full
restart. Yeah, do my new save. But yeah, I think Fable was one of the first games where I actually started to be a bit of a completionist in terms of getting all Obsidian weapons and all that kind of stuff. So Fable 4 coming out, graphics update. Hopefully John Cleese comes back to do some voiceover. That would be good. And then yeah, I'm pretty hyped for that one, and I'm interested to see how they run the combat, because they kind of changed it over all three of the games. So the first one was obviously very simple, button mashy, but then by the time you got to your third one, you sort of were changing between magic gloves and either pistols or swords. And yeah, I'm just interested to see how they go about it, because combat's come a long way since the good old days of the original Xbox. So Fable 4, I'm not sure what month that's coming out in, but I definitely know it's 2025.
Yeah, I have it on my list here. I don't have the month for it. As for the combat, I have a feeling when I'm playing Dragon Age, the new one, it feels like it would be that. I think it feels like an advancement of the first Fable combat. So I have a feeling it's gonna be similar to that. Both very loyal to Xbox, so that's good. All right, I will start. I know there's so many people that are gonna be like GTA 6, whatever. I gotta go with Civilization 7. One of the most addicting games on PC. Me and my buddy Scott are already ready to lose a couple nights over this stuff. So it's fantastic. It's the biggest change I've seen Civilization go through in any of the expansions, where basically each era you could choose a new leader and whatnot. It'll be very, very different than normal, but Civilization 7, I'm hyped for that. It's always a delight. Jonathan, let's go ahead and I'm thinking one more game each. We'll probably do that because I know that for games it's less than the movies. Jonathan, what do you got?
Yeah, I'll probably just go with the Grand Theft Auto 6. You can't pass up a Grand Theft Auto game.
Yeah.
Like like Aaron was saying, like you want to be good. You want to like drive straight on the road and stuff like that. But then at one point you accidentally ran over somebody, and it's like, all right, well, let's see how much stars we can get. Let's get the police involved. Grand Theft Auto 5 was a surprisingly good storyline to it too. So I haven't seen much about what's going to be in 6, but I'm sure they're putting a lot of money into it because the last one was a huge success, I think. So that'll look good. That'd be cool.
It's amazing how little Rockstar gives us. They drop a trailer like a year ago, and we get nothing from them anymore. And all we want is more content updates. So but I know once it comes out, it'll be something I play nonstop for sure.
Right. They have such a big player base on Twitch and things like that. They even do what's the role play stuff they do. They don't even just play the game. They just actually role play as characters in the world, and they just go for it. Like GTA has got its own community in that way too. So, and they do it with Red Dead as well, which is like more down my alley. But
I'd be doing
keen.
that for sure. All right, what do you got for us, Aaron?
All right, last one for me is going to be Gears of War E-Day. Very big fan of the Gears of War franchise. The first one came out obviously on the Xbox 360. Marcus and Dom, you want to find a best friend that's just like either one of them. Those two are just completely compatible together. And then, brought through all the feels through the first few movies and seeing their arc and him trying to find his wife and things like that. But this one actually brings us to a time before the events of the original game. It shows the events, and you're playing as Marcus and Dom again, and it shows the events of them actually going through Emergence Day, was when the locusts come up from underground. So looking forward to that, because I think Gears of War definitely revolutionized shooters for me, or at least third-person shooters, because it had that cover-based system. And I have very fond memories of playing the first one, listening to metal in the background as you're running through being chased by a berserker, is just like dodging at the very last minute while smashing through these poles. Oh, mate, me and my friend Michael, who, he doesn't live here anymore, but shout out to Michael if you're listening. We played the shit out of that. And it changed our lives. It was great. So Emergence Day, bring it back. Let's see some Gears of War again in 2025.
And it's Xbox Gold. Xbox really needs to bring back some of their most, storied IPs, and that's definitely one of them. I bought an Xbox after that announcement trailer. I was like, okay, I'm in. Because I haven't really played a lot of the other Gears of War, just because it was hard for me to get used to that over the shoulder. Now I'm used to it, because a lot of games are doing that. I'm ready for it, man. I'm right there with you. Day one, I'm going to be getting that for sure.
Yeah. Isn't Squeaks the one that was a huge Gears of War fan? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure. I don't know if he has a
tattoo of the... He has so many tattoos of different things.
The cog.
Yeah.
I think he has the gun, the chainsaw gun.
The Ripper, yeah.
Yeah. He's got, I swear, like the most Lilo and Stitch is on one leg and TMNT's on the other leg. He's got all kinds of tattoos. So, all right, guys. Well, like I said, 2025, it's going to be an amazing year. We're excited to share it with you guys. So make sure you hang out with us on Geek Freaks, on Fandom Portals, on Challenge Accepted, all the things in the network. And we have some more shows coming to the network that I've been working with other people on. So that's exciting too. But we are very hyped for 2025. Let us know on social media what you're excited for. Head over to Threads, Blue Sky, Instagram, and even sometimes Twitter. Sometimes I remember. So go and check it out over there too. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
See yous.